Well, welcome everyone. So glad that you guys are here. This is something that Victoria and I have had on our heart for a while to do. So we're excited to kick it off. And we originally thought we would do this book study and make it a little bit more formal, but then we just were feeling into it, and we're like, you know what? There's so much happening right now. Why don't we just make this free and make it fun and lighthearted and just enjoy this going through getting to awakening inner resilience and finding peace and clarity in a chaotic world. And right now in the US, we're in the midst of an election and a lot of other chaos, I think, everywhere else as well. So that's kind of what was in our heart to move forward with this. And so, Vic, I want to introduce to you Victoria. We're going to introduce each other. And Victoria, I met her actually at, we did a facilitation, energy code facilitator training together. So Victoria is a mastery coach and intuitive healer. She studied with some of the great masters in cutting edge and revolutionary therapies, inviting exponential breakthrough results. As she learned to heal and recover from childhood PSD, her spiritual gifts and healing abilities awakened. With an innate ability to get to the heart of the matter, Victoria empowers you to shift from unconscious living to consciously creating a new story of your life. Her mission is to realize her true power and potential and to teach others to do the same. Victoria specializes in guiding individuals to awaken to freedom, particularly in times of chaos, crisis, and conflict. Perfect timing.
Yes. Thank you, Sharon. And so, for those who don't know Sharon, she is a visionary executive coach and she empowers highly sensitive, ambitious women to step into leadership roles with confidence and grace. And so she combines practices such as neuroscience, emotional intelligence, and intuitive coaching to help her clients create success that is deeply aligned with what really matters to them, what aligned with their values. So that's us.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are we going to cover today? So session 1 is about awakening to your energy self. And so today's session, this is what we'll cover today. So we'll talk about project awakening, how to shift from our protective personality to our soulful self, understanding the model of awakening, and then connecting with the you beneath our thoughts. So we're going to be learning what life looks like when we're working from the level of energy rather than story. So it's all project awakening. And so if we think about what a spiritual awakening is or what it means to be spiritual, I think many of us would say that it means having an interest in spirituality, of course, perhaps mysticism and the esoterics. But it's so much more than just that. And I kind of look at that as more like an academic understanding of spirituality. And so really we're constantly going through these awakenings of ourself. And so I'm going to share a little fun story about it's the story of creation, just to help us put this into perspective a little bit more. So the story goes that the creator of all that is was looking for a group of volunteers to come and play in a new game that had been created called Earth. And so you, me, and a bunch of other souls, we put our hands up and said, yeah, this sounds great. Send me, send me. And so the creator's like, hold on a moment, let me explain the rules. So he says, you're going to go down there, you're going to take a physical body, you're going to put a bag over your head, and you're going to fumble around in the dark. And you're going to forget who you are, you're going to forget who I am, and you're going to bump around up against things until you find your way back home. And so we said, well, that sounds great. How deep can we go? And Creator says, knock yourself out. And so here we are, essentially, we've arrived on Earth in a bit of a splat. We've forgotten that we are part of the creator essence. We've forgotten our connection to source. And here we are, we've been fumbling around in the dark, trying to find our way back home. And so what we're doing here is awakening from this protective personality, which, I call it that, or we call it that, is because, through experiences that maybe haven't felt too good, we've started to create these protective layers around our body and around our heart. And so the purpose of life is to really awaken to our soulful self, which we are already our soulful self. We've just covered it up with all of these protective layers. And so we're really here to find out, who we are, and to experience our true potential, and really to live our own heaven on earth. And so we're going to talk through how this is available for us right now, and share some practices to help us really start to embody that soulful essence. So, Sharon.
Thanks, Victoria. So here we have the model of awakening. And to simplify it, well, what I really like to think about is we're really coming back to understanding the truth of who we are. Awakening means we're awakening to our creative power, that, we're moving out of this protective self, which is this backside of the model. So we're kind of born into all these limiting beliefs, and we've taken on all these things from all these helpful people throughout our life saying, you got to watch out for this, you got to watch out for that, you got to watch out for this, right? And all those things that happen, we've added all these, I think of like bricks over our heart, which become our personal protective personality. And when we're living in this protective personality, it's hard to take responsibility, right? We always really blame other people, or we're the victim of others, of our circumstances, right? Instead of taking responsibility for how you helped co-create it. And we're really actually just focused on survival. And really, if you think about it, it makes sense, because when we're in a body, our body's primary function is to survive the next moment. And so it's always searching around, where's the danger? What do I need to survive this next moment? And so it's about awakening to our true potential and recognizing, yeah, we have a body. We're not our body. And use and our bodies are amazing, amazing, amazing. But really starting to learn from the front side of the model, being this creative genius that we are, and living from our heart, which is the soulful self, the creator that we are. So, Victoria, or I was doing this one, right? Sorry,
Sorry, I have one question, because I'm not a native English speaker,
sure.
but protective personality doesn't sound to me bad.
It's not
So
bad. It's not.
No.
It's not bad. But it's not our full self. So we don't want to. We still want to embrace our protective personality, because their discernment is good, right? We need to know to look both ways to cross the street, right? So it's good. It's not bad, but use it as in service to our heart, as opposed to living from the protective personality. So it's kind of, if you think about it, it's about the energy we're in when we're making decisions. Are we making decisions out of fear? Are we making decisions out of what we want to create, out of love? And whatever energy we're in when we make these decisions is the energy we're going to be creating in, is what we're creating more of, right? So there's 3 stages of awakening. And the first stage is victimhood, survival. Life is happening to us and we have no impact. So the universe is this chaos, and we just have to survive. Everything is like We have no control. We try to, it is all about, we're trying to control this chaos that we have no control over, right? And then stage 2, which we all go through, right, is this self-help. So really starting to know ourselves, becoming aware of this protective personality, and shifting from the pain to more of the bliss. But it's about healing, like accepting all the different parts of us, and we can't get stuck here in this place where we're always trying to heal another part of ourselves. Never good enough. We're always trying, but it's really about taking that and leaving a step further and recognizing that everything is perfect. Everything is here for me, and I am creating and living as this creative, soulful self, the creative genius that you are.
Nice. And I'll just add, Isabella, that might just to help answer your question. The way I like to look at the protective personality, it's kind of like, our false sense of self that we've created as a result of all the conditioning or experiences that didn't make us feel good and made us feel like, the victim. So we've created all these structures around ourselves that we respond from that, rather than really being in our true, authentic, open-hearted self. So I hope that also helps.
That's okay.
All right, so the bioenergetic field. And these images come from Dr. Sue's book, The Energy Codes. And so to give you a feel of what we're talking about is, the top image is the perfect image. So this is when our body's humming and buzzing and we're in flow. And so the energy is coming down from source, and it hits our body, comes down through our body, hits the earth, and then creates this torus field. So when we're buzzing nicely, it's up and around and we're just flowing. And so it's activating each of our chakras. And these are the energy centers that help us navigate our lives. And so the energy that's coming in from source is actually us. We're this energy that's coming in every time we take a breath. That is the real us. We're breathing our physical body into an animated life form. Essentially, it's the breath of God. And so when we're flowing like this, we're in our pure spiritual essence, we're in our pure consciousness, and we're able to navigate life with ease. And so what then tends to happen is, if the chakra centers are open and flowing, then life is flowing for us. But then what tends to happen is we'll hit up against something. And as I shared in the creator story, we're bumping around in the dark and we're hitting up against things. And, certain people or situations are going to trigger us. And so this will start to create these distortions in our beautiful energy flow. And so if you look at the second image, it's not nice and equilateral anymore. It's a bit distorted and wonky. And so what tends to happen here is something will happen in the outside world, and and it will create a wobble within us. And so rather than thinking, oh, okay, there's something in my energy field that I need to, get the flow working again, we tend to make it about either the person or the situation that, created this wobble within us. And so when there's a wobble within us, what then will happen is the energy is not flowing. It's not going in this straight line. It's kind of going around, wherever the energy is blocked in the body. And then it's having to, weave its way around to keep the flow. So the way I like to describe it is, if you imagine that your body's like a circuit board, and so you've got this energy running around the circuit board and it's all flowing, and then suddenly something will break, and so the energy can't flow anymore. There's a blockage there. And so that's how I see it. So then what we're trying to do is reconnect that flow of energy so that we're back humming and purring. And then what will happen is, when we're out of balance, it creates a misperception of our reality. So if we're distorted in the body, we start to see distortions in our reality. And we also might start to perceive that there's something actually wrong with us. And as Sharon said earlier, you know, we're not good enough, or we don't quite fit in. And then we start to create all of these stories around that little wobble that's happened in our body. And so we're going to go through this in a bit more detail over the next 2 sessions. But essentially what we want to do is, when we get that wobble, and the best way I might describe it is, you know, anxiety is a big word that people use. So if we were to think, oh, I feel anxious, normally we feel that in our stomach. And that's like our power center, you know, our solar plexus. And so if we're empowered and everything's flowing nicely, then we're generally a confident person, we're quite assertive. But if we're feeling that disempowerment in that energy field, then we start to feel like, you know, that can create that victimization. And it can also create feelings of hopelessness and powerlessness. And so, and again, that will start our minds telling ourselves stories about our reality. And so what we're doing is getting that flow moving back nicely in our body, so that we can come from a centered and empowered state of being. Just going to check if there's anything else I wanted to say. Nope, I think we're good. Okay.
So what we want to do is we want to do the quantum flip, and which really just means start making decisions from our, not out of fear anymore, but on the front side, which is making decisions out of love, recognizing the higher truth and everything. So this means going beyond the intellectual and knowing that we're spirit, actually embodying our spiritual nature. So we can, with any instance, we can make a decision. Are we making a decision out of fear? Are we going to make a decision out of love? And each one will, when we make these decisions out of either of these situations, that's what our experience will be. That energy gets reflected back to us, and so that is what we will then experience. So we spend decades trying to change our mind, yet the key to fully embodying, fully empowered life is to experience this through the body. So, you know, there's lots of parts to us, right? We have a mind, we have this consciousness, we have this body, we even have a light body, right? And we have energy, and energy is communicating to us. And if you go back to the image of the torus field, right? That's energy. Energy is always moving, and so the key to this quantum flip is really to begin to recognize, yeah, I'm a vibrational being first, and I get to decide. I get to decide because I know who I am. I get to decide what this means and how I want to respond. And that is where your power lies, is in making that decision.
Yeah.
And
So
that,
essentially, I was just going to add that essentially we're remembering ourselves. So we're bringing parts of our body back to embody fully. And then we're remembering that, oh, actually, I am, you know, connected to source. I am part of source. Not this protective personality that, you know, that I've been living by up until this point.
Yeah, so this usually requires to take us pause when something is happening and you feel that protective personality come online, right? Oh, I feel something in my body. You know, our body's response is going to be that fight, flight, or freeze, because again, it wants to survive the next moment. But it's take the pause, take the breath, and come back to yourself. Bring it to the body and allow yourself, okay, and remember, this is happening to me and through me, and there's a broader perspective. And I don't even have to know what that perspective is right now. You can simply say, everything is happening for me, and allow yourself to relax into that. And that can help you shift into this true self, right? And so from this point, you can then say, what is it that I want to create here? Do I want to create more chaos? Do I want to create more disease, dissatisfaction? And or is it I want to create a loving relationship? I want to be able to work through this in my power. To make that decision and then take action from that decision. So that's the quantum flip.
Mm. Because essentially our body is like the barometer for the soul. So the soul is always trying to talk to us through our body. And as Sharon was saying, we're either going to open up and feel like we want to lean in towards something, or our body's going to tell us, oh, this doesn't feel right, and we contract. So those are kind of like the kind of key indicators to start navigating our life just from our body's intelligence, really. Yeah. So we thought it would be nice to give you an idea. We're going to do, first of all, a grounding meditation, and then we're going to share with you some exercises that can really help us ground and anchor in our body so that we're present in our body and the energy's flowing, rather than that scatteredness where our energy is kind of dispersed outside of ourselves. And that's, where we're starting to create these stories about what's happening to us. So bear with me one moment. Let me just bring that up. Okay, let's try again.
We'll figure it out, sorry guys.
Learning experience, right? Right. Give me a thumbs up if you got it.
Welcome to the grounding meditation for deep relaxation. I'm Victoria. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in through your nose, deep into your belly, and back out through your nose. As you feel your breath travel up and down your spine, imagine the breath as a red ray of light, and that breath is you. Allow your breathing to become a gentle rhythm, in and out, and feel your body begin to relax into your chair or into your bed if you're lying down. And keep breathing. Become aware of the energy around your head and shoulders. Perhaps your mind is wandering with excessive thoughts. Bring your awareness to the center of your head, just behind your eyes. You may feel a slight tension as you gently roll your eyes to this point of awareness. And breathe. Anchor your root by contracting the muscles at the base of your pelvic bowl. Feel the immediate sense of deep groundedness and well-being. And keep breathing. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. Now, with your awareness on these two anchor points, imagine breathing in from 2 feet below the earth, up your legs and into your belly. Hold for a couple of seconds before exhaling, while imagining your breath travelling up your spine and out the top of your head. Pause, and as you take your next inhale, imagine breathing from above your head, down your spine and into your belly. Before exhaling, down to the earth. Repeat this cycle at your own pace a few more times. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. Now constrict the throat, allowing the breath to be felt and heard as it passes through. Allow your breath to make a hissing sound like waves on sand passing in and out. Ocean breath. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. Now bring your attention back to the center of your forehead, just behind your eyes. This is your home, your core. Remember this sensation. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. Now that you're familiar with the breath sequence, continue to breathe deeply into your belly as you imagine your breath traveling up and down your spine. Feel the alignment. The more you do this, the more you will increase your awareness of self and its energetic flow. And keep breathing. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. I am here as source. This is my gig. I am safe. I belong. I get to choose my experience. Take some time to enjoy the feeling, then gently open your eyes when you're ready.
Thank you. Now that we're all relaxed and more into our body and calmness, we'd love to open it up to a discussion. And I'll pull back up the presentation so we can see the questions. But this is our time to kind of discuss about what we learned today and what we want to take with us. Let me share my screen. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been so lovely and good to meet everyone. And we're going to continue next week. Our time adjustment will all be the same, and It will be 2 o'clock Central Time, right? No, 1 o'clock Central Time and 7 p.m. BST. Is that right?
Yeah, GMT.
So
7 p.m. GMT. What is it? 1 p.m. CST. Yeah.
CST,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you want to move on to the last slide?
Further than the slide.
So if you do want to reach out in between the sessions, then you can contact either of us or both of us here. If anything pops up in the next week and you want some extra support, then we're here. And next week, what have we got next week, Sharon? I don't have it right in front of me.
I don't either, actually, hold on just a
Hang
minute.
on, you bring it up. So next week we will be going through week 2 is going to be becoming the creator of your life. So we're going to learn a bit more about how to harness the bioenergy that we talked about today, how to harness our energy field for our creatorship. So we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much for this
Thank
session.
you.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Thank you guys. Look forward to next week and continuing our discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.